Hello. So in this video we are going to prove that in a right triangle the circumcenter is on the hypotenuse and is the midpoint of the hypotenuse. So before that, let's understand what is a circumcenter. Circumcenter of this triangle is the point where three perpendicular bisectors of the three sides of a triangle meet. A circumcenter of a triangle is equidistant from the three vertices of the triangle. It makes it the center of the circle that can be circumscribed around the triangle, which is known as circumcircle. So let's see what this whole thing means. So let's say that we have a triangle, and if I have to do the perpendicular bisectors of the three sides, so what I'm doing here is I am plotting the midpoints of the three sides. So D is the midpoint of AB, E is the midpoint of AC, and F is the midpoint of BC. Now if I do a perpendicular line, so let's say I drew the perpendicular lines, which these lines are basically perpendicular bisectors. So BC is the line, and this line which is indicated here is the perpendicular bisector of BC. Similarly, this line passing through E is the perpendicular bisector of AC, and same goes here. The line going through D is the perpendicular bisector of AB. Now the point where these three perpendicular bisectors meet is the circumcenter. So let me name the circumcenter as G. Now if I draw a circle from G, so I am drawing a circle from G and I'll make it so big so that A, B, C are on the circle. So now because A, B, C are on the circle and G is the center of the circle, we know that GA, GB and GC shall be equal because they are the radius. So GC is the radius and radius is always equal. GA is the radius, GB is the radius. So now if we read this definition again, circumcenter of a triangle is a point where three perpendicular bisectors from the sides of the triangle meet. So these three perpendicular bisectors met at point G, which is the circumcenter, and circumcenter is equidistant from the three vertices of the triangle. So G is equidistant from A or B or C, and it makes it the center of the circle that can be circumscribed around the triangle known as a circumcircle. So this circle is known as a circumcircle. Okay, it is the circumference of the circle has the three vertices of the triangle. Now let's go to the theorem which we have to prove. So we have to prove that in a right triangle, the circumcenter is on the hypotenuse and is the midpoint of the hypotenuse. So let's make a right triangle first. So ABC is a right triangle, as you can notice, and it is saying midpoint of the hypotenuse. Let's find the midpoint of the hypotenuse. So this is the midpoint of the hypotenuse. So we have to prove that this midpoint of the hypotenuse is the circumcircle, which means AD, DC and DB, they are equal. So let's draw a line from D which is parallel to the line AB. So line DE is parallel to line AB, and I'll join this D and B. Now if we see triangle DBE, this is congruent to triangle DCE. Why? Let's prove. CD by DA equal to CE by EB. Why? Because of intercept theorem. also known as Thales theorem. And we know CD is equal to DA. CD is equal to DA. So CD divided by DA will become 1. 1 is equal to CE by EB, which means that this implies that CE is equal to EB. So we now know that CE and EB are equal. So now with side, angle, side theorem, DE being the common side, and this angle DEC will be 90. Why? Because these are corresponding angles. DEC is corresponding to ABE and both angles would be 90 degree. So with this side, angle, side, we are able to prove that triangle DEB is congruent to triangle DEC. So if these two triangles are congruent, this means that BD is equal to CD. BD equal to CD, or BD is congruent to CD. Why? Because CP, CTC, corresponding parts of a congruent triangle, are congruent. So this is proving BD equal to CD, BD is equal to CD, and we know CD equal to AD because this is the midpoint of the hypotenuse. So that's how we prove that the triangle, in the right triangle, the circumcenter is on the hypotenuse and is the midpoint of the hypotenuse. Now let's draw the circle. So with this midpoint, if I draw a circle, you can see circle has all the three vertices of the triangle on the circumference. Again, the other thing which we can do is we can draw the perpendicular bisectors and we will see that the circumcenter is D. So let's do that. So I have created the midpoints. So G is the midpoint of AB and H is the midpoint of BC. And if I draw the perpendicular lines now, so you can see that these perpendicular bisectors are meeting at point D. So this proves that in a right triangle, the circumcenter is on the hypotenuse and is the midpoint of the hypotenuse. Thank you.